Hi, I'm Sam Way, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
That performance right now is pretty awesome. I like the new acoustic of your new song, Last Page. Tell me a little bit about the song and what really inspired this song. I know you've had it in the vault for quite some time.
Yeah, so the song has been almost like 2 years, I guess, in the making. I wrote it with my mate Billy Wright, who's another singer-songwriter in London, and he's the lead singer of a band called The Archives.
Okay.
And then, I mean, it's been 2 years in the making. Finally got like the studio version all like wrapped up and done, and yeah, all set for release on the 4th of November, which is
Man,
pretty
it's like
soon.
coming
Mate, it's
up.
like literally like a week. It's a week.
It's coming up.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
from the first time that you wrote this track to now that it's about to get released, how many times did you pretty much reconstruct it, or did you reconstruct it at all?
Yeah, I mean, it goes on such a journey in the studio, I guess. You know, you start off like, we wrote it on guitar,
Yeah.
but then the studio version, we like stripped it back just to like piano.
Right.
So you
Oh,
start
man.
off with like just piano, just voice, you know, and it's just like a demo tape basically.
Right.
And then you start like finding out all the elements, and yeah, and then it just builds, and it's a big song. Like when you hear it, it's a big song. It's got these like military sort of like drums in it as well. It's quite rousing. So, I mean, I'm feeling great about the song. Can't wait for it to come out.
This is off your upcoming EP. So how different is the material from this upcoming EP from your previous one that you released last year?
So Architect, the EP that we put out last year, it was just a bit more like melancholic.
Okay.
I don't know whether I'm in a little bit of like a happier space. I don't know, but I also feel this EP is a little bit more polished.
Okay.
You know, we've spent a lot more time in the studio, really like really honing like the right sound for the song. Whereas the Architect EP, I felt it was just a little bit more folky as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've matured a lot as a musician? I know music wasn't like your first thing. You were doing
No,
like
I've
modeling
come into
before
it,
that.
like, really late.
But do you feel like you are a musician today,
Oh, man.
or you're still learning?
Like 5 years ago, I couldn't even play the guitar. Now, like my like budding career is like a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it being like any other way. It's so weird.
What's that transition like for you? Because I feel like modeling still goes hand in hand with being a musician.
I mean, I think that music was actually, in a way, kind of a byproduct
Okay.
of living a life for so long. You know, I mean, modeling like 12 years.
Yeah.
Living,
that's
it's a long time, you know. I mean, and I think it's a byproduct of being in that industry, living such a scattered existence,
Yeah.
where you're like living like a leaf in the wind, you know, and you're like taken here and you're taken here and you're taken here.
Right.
So actually, music became like something that like deeply anchored me. Like I carry that music and that musicality and those songs and those stories like in me wherever I go.
Right.
And I think it works really, really great.
You went into the studio the second time around. You're more of an artist today as you were on your first EP. So tell me how different the studio process was this time around. What were your challenges this time around?
The challenges this time around, I mean, it's always like it's like a fine tuning. I think that's where like the challenges are. You know, I think you can have a tendency as well in the studio to almost, you want to like push it to like as far as it can go.
Right.
And then sometimes the challenge is to go, actually, you know what? That's not right. And you have to really like then start like taking things away. So you have like the core, you have like the essence, and you don't just have like noise. You don't just have like background noise or noise for the sake of having it.
Right, you just
It's
gotta
like
strip it
everything
down.
is integral to the song. But yeah, I mean, the producer that I'm working with in London, he's like incredibly talented, and he's really pushed me. He's pushed me like vocally. He's just, and that's what it's all about, working with like different musicians, and they've all come on to the EP.
Right.
And so it's a challenge, like orchestrating everyone and getting everyone to do their like best performance. But yeah, everyone nailed it, I think.
Back to this producer that you're working with. Who are you working with, and why did you choose to work with this producer?
You know, it just happened. You know, like one of those people you get introduced to, and you automatically you connect with, you like
Right.
work well with, and you know we listen to each other, and that's the most important thing.
And with this EP, how many tracks can we expect on it? 4 or 5 tracks? Is this something you're still working on?
There's like one song. I'm like,
You're-
okay, is it gonna be 4 or is it gonna be 5? I'm not sure. I want to take one song like back into. I want to like take the mix back into somewhere and like try and change it up a little
What's
bit.
wrong with it?
It's there's like just one sound. I'm like, I don't know if I don't know whether that sound like totally represents me as a human being or as an artist right now. So I don't know. We'll take it back in and we'll have a little play around, you know. But that's the beautiful thing about a song is it's never finished.
Right. That's true.
You know.
It comes down to
played out or there on the guitar.
Yeah.
You know, like that could go in so many different ways, and just the one way that we've now going to be putting out, that's going to be like, oh, that's the song, but it's not the song.
Right.
The song is its own thing. It's like alive, and I guess throughout the years it can like change.
Now, that's perfect that you just mentioned that, because I'm actually curious now that going back to having more experience in the music industry today, is there anything you would change from the Architect EP? Is there a specific song that you might want to like reconstruct a little bit more?
Yes, I think yes. However, there is also something nice about just leaving things where they are.
Right.
You know, like I look back at my first single, Dancing Shoes, and you know, it's like it's a total departure from what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. It's you know, it's like folky and it's poppy and it's fun. It's kind of in your face and it's kind of brash.
Right.
And my singing is all over the place, but it's, you know, it's fun. It's got some sort of like energy, and it's lovely to be able to like have that. It kind of like documents where you were at musically.
Right.
So like the Architect people, it was where I was at, like right then. So going back to some of the songs and redoing them, that is definitely a possibility. Certainly with like some of the songs which you know, you think that's a really great song, like why not like do another version of it, keep it alive, right? But there is also something nice to just being like, that was then, I'm always writing new songs, like let's just carry on building and growing, and that was that.
That's true. Yeah. Now, you mentioned writing. What's that writing process for you? Do you have a specific writing process, or is that still something you're trying to figure out yourself?
I'm always carrying around a notepad.
Yeah.
You know, I've always got stuff on my notes on my iPhone. I'm always like, underlining stuff in like the books I read and things like this, taking snippets from here. Like it's just constant. But often it's just you know, I won't write for a while, and then suddenly something will happen, and I'll be like, I got to write about that.
Right.
That's like an important part of what's going on for me right now, so I just have to get it down, and then it becomes quite like obsessive, like capturing that moment, that feeling, those words, and so I just go into like social recluse mode, and just like lock myself away and play guitar.
Well, hey, you're in the right spot to do this, because once coming in here, I don't want to go back out, so I might have to change my plans today.
Take my lunch, why not?
Eric Hall is a big part of your music career.
Yeah, do you know Eric? Have you heard of Eric?
I have heard of him. I haven't met him yet. So if you're out there somewhere, I'm ready to meet you.
Eric.
So, so tell me about this. You know, how did you guys really connect? How does this happen for you?
Mate, I was just in my local cafe in East London.
That's just the best story already. Like,
and I was just like eating a big old like English fry up sausage, bacon, eggs.
Is that for lunch today too?
No. We're in LA, man. I'm getting like some green juice or some like acai bowl. I don't know what you guys eat. And we just sort of chatted, and when he saw me, he was like, I knew you were doing like something, you know. I saw something in you. Jeez. I saw something in you. I wanted to chat to you, and so he asked me to like come on his radio show. And this is just as someone who was not from London, talking about what it was like to live in London, because I'm not from London originally. Right. And then we got chatting more, and I opened up and I told him that I was modeling and I was doing music and stuff like this. I mean, this was just some like random guy in a cafe. Like I didn't want to like share my whole life story with him, but eventually, you know, I sort of like opened up and told him, and he told me who he was. And Eric Hall, if you don't know, he like used to manage like Mark Bolan and Queen and the Sex Pistols. He's like a heavyweight. And
you've been with him since?
Well, no, we've just become like friends. We've parted ways professionally, and he was always more of like a consultant sort of like role. He sorted me out with like the first label that I was with in the UK called Right Recordings. He introduced us. So I mean, I just like to go down to the same cafe that we met up and just like chat about life. And he's been a massive influence.
What's one thing that you really picked up from him, from any conversation that he's given you?
You got to be able to talk a good game. You just got to be able to talk a good game. I went to go see Patti Smith at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
on Sunday, and like her songs and her like songwriting is amazing. It was actually the things she said like in between the songs, like, you know, I don't want to swear, but like she was like, you're free. Like, remember that you're free. And it was amazing to like, there's an artist who is not only creating music which touches people, but everything she's like saying, it's just like, it's her.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting side of like being what it means to be an artist and to stand up there and be like, okay, these are my songs, but this is what I stand for.
Right.
Also.
Do you feel like a lot of artists are hiding that side of them?
I don't think it's difficult. I think it's difficult because there's so many like people to please.
That's true.
You know, you've got to like fit so many boxes, or I don't know.
The last page drops November 4th.
Yeah.
The EP, we're expecting it for 2017.
Yeah, probably early, like January, Feb, 2017.
Okay.
That's when we'll look to roll it out.
Do you have any maybe show dates that you have coming up, or anything like performances here in LA or maybe out in Turkey?
We'll get to that. I am doing a gig in New York. It's like a so-far sound session, which will be like a really beautiful acoustic, very like intimate setting gig on the 3rd. So, I mean, or I'll like shout about it on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that sort of stuff. So if you're in New York, by any chance, yeah, do hit me up. I'll try and get you ticks. And then, yeah, moving forward to the new year, I really want to play a gig in Turkey because, as you mentioned and we talked about before the interview even started, yeah, I have a big fan base there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get out there. You gotta give them a proper show.
I know. I have to. I've got to make it work. Goals for the new year.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just write them down so they actually happen.
Yeah, right.
Well, dude, thanks for hanging out with me. I look forward to hearing the rest of the music. I really enjoyed Last Page. You guys,
let's stay in touch.
Yeah, let's do that. You guys be sure to check out Sam Way. The new single Last Page drops November 4th on iTunes. Pick it up, and a new EP coming real soon. Thanks for watching here on Front Row Live.
Sweet. Thanks, guys.